What is up, everybody? It's your boy Viper Parlay, and today we're going to talk about Whittaker versus Till, the entire main card, our predictions. Yesterday we did a video on the preliminaries, so if you haven't seen that already, go ahead, check it out, like and subscribe the video, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to talk about individual fighters, who we think are going to win, their fighting history, their stats, and some of the advantages. So to kick it off, we have Khamzat Chimaev, otherwise known as Khamzat Boris Chimaev, 26 years old, from Stockholm, Sweden, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 185 pounds. You might be thinking, wow, he looks familiar. Well, yeah, he actually just fought, so he's fighting again. He has 7 wins, which are 4 TKOs, 3 submissions, and 0 losses. Solid fighter just to kick it off. And then looking at some of his recent fights, most recently, literally recently, July 15, 2020, had a submission, a Bravo choke against John Phillips. Before that, he fought Zwandal Longwa, and it was a technical submission. He won. Before that, Ikram Aliskerov, 2019 of April, he knocked him out with a punch. Sidney Wheeler before that, TKO, submission to punches. He is facing against this young gun. His name is Rhys Skeletor McKee, 24 years old, 6 feet 1 inches tall, 170 pounds, 10 wins, 7 of those TKOs, 3 of those submissions, and 2 total losses, both of those being TKOs, or I'm sorry, one of those being TKOs and one of those being a decision. Also has a draw under his belt. So let's take a look. He fought Hakan Foss November 9, 2019. He beat him up. TKO with punches. He won. Perry Goodwin before that, March 2019. Submission with the guillotine choke. 2018 December, he fought Jefferson George. TKO with his punches. Now before that, June 28, 2018, Terry Brazier, he lost to him with the decision there. So who do I think is going to win this? I think it's pretty easy. I think Chimaev is going to win. He fought recently. He has a 1-inch height advantage. Solid prospect. You can tell this guy is very serious. Strong submission game. Strong ability to finish fights and get the TKO or the KO. So I think he's a great prospect. I think he's going to come out on top. Also, what a way to kick off the main card. My goodness, this is going to be one of my favorite events so far. Especially with the whole situation going on in the world right now. It's great to see that we can put together fights like these and still have a great level of competition and great fights. So up next, we have Alex the Cowboy Oliveira. If anyone keeps up with Brazilian UFC, they're pretty familiar with this guy. 32 years old, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 170 pounds. Pretty solid guy. 21 wins, 12 TKOs, 5 submissions, 4 decisions, and 8 losses. One of those TKOs, 4 submissions, 3 decisions, and 1 draw. 2 no counts. So March 2020, he fought Max Griffin. It was a split decision victory. Before then, he's coming off a couple of losses. Nicholas Dalby, Mike Perry, these are 2019, and then Gunnar Nelson back in 2018. 2018 before that, he was able to TKO Carlo Pedersoli Jr. My gosh, what are these names? Before that, Carlos Condit, he beat him too as well with a submission. So he is going up against this gentleman right here, Peter Sabata, 33 years of age, associations with Planet Eater, 6 feet tall, even, 170 pounds, 17 solid wins, 5 TKOs, 10 submissions, and 2 of those being decisions, and then 6 losses, 2 TKOs, 1 submission, and 3 decisions, also 1 draw. So fairly evenly matched. We have Leon Edwards. He lost him back in 2018, his most recent fight. He got TKO'd with punches. Before that, Ben Saunders, he beat him in 2017 with TKO punches and a knee. Nicholas Dalby before that, unanimous decision victory. Kyle Noak before that, he had lost him with a TKO. Steve Kennedy and a couple other wins previously before that. So who do I think is going to take this one? I have to give it to Oliveira. I think he's a solid prospect. He has more experience, more wins under his belt, more character. So, he's a very interesting fighter to see. Hard to say how I think this fight would end, but I think he would most likely be able to get a TKO, if not submission. I don't see it really going to decision. Oh, and for the previous fight, I have Chimaev doing a knockout or a TKO. So those are the predictions so far for the first 2 fights, and honestly I'm very excited for these first 2 fights. Up next we have a very interesting fella here. As you can tell, his name is Paul Birju Craig. He's from Scotland, 32 years of age, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 205 pounds, big guy, 12 wins, and look at those submissions. 11 of those are submissions. That's 92% submissions. 4 losses, 3 TKOs, 1 submission for those losses. So going through his record really quickly here, his most recent fight back in November 2019 was against Mauricio Rua. It was a split draw. Before then, he had a victory with the submission rear naked choke against Vinicius Moreira Castro. Before that was a loss to Alonzo Menifield. He got KO'd with punches. Before that, a victory with Kennedy Netschukwu back in March 2019, and it was a triangle choke submission. A loss before that, Jim Crute, he lost to a submission of Kimura. So someone who has, on again, off again wins and losses. Up next, he's facing this gentleman here. His name is Gadsimurad Antigulov, 33 years of age, from Dagestan, Russia. Like I said, you know how they make them. 5 feet 11 inches tall, 205 pounds, 20 wins, 4 TKOs, 15 submissions, and 1 decision. What a perfect matchup, must I say. 6 losses, which are 4 TKOs, 2 submissions, 0 of those are decisions. Let's look at his record here. Most recently, he fought against Michael What's-His-Face back in April 2019, and he lost. He got knocked out with punches. Before that, Ion Kutalaba in July 2018, he got punched and elbowed. It was a TKO. Before that, quite a few victories. So watch him. Christensen, he submitted him with a rear naked choke. Marcos Rogero de Lima submitted him with a guillotine choke. And then he did a rear naked choke before that against Muslim Makhmudov. So who do I have winning this one? Well, I have to go with the first gentleman, and that is Mr. Craig. Although both of their records are a little bit questionable and make me a little bit nervous if I was to bet on them, overall I feel more confident with Craig here. And reason being is he has a bit more experience and recent experience in fights, whereas the second gentleman, Antigulov, hasn't fought as much recently, and his most recent fights have ended up in finishes. I say the first gentleman gets a submission. Moving right along to the next fight, we have Carla Cookie Monster Esparza. A little bit about her. She's 32 years of age, Redondo Beach, California, USA. She's 5 feet 1 inches tall, pretty small, 115 pounds. She's carrying 16 wins. Pretty experienced, 3 of those TKOs, 4 of those submissions, 9 of those decisions, and 6 total losses, with 2 of those TKOs, 1 of those submissions, and 3 of those decisions. So let's take a quick look at her most recent fights. Recently, she's fought against Michelle Watterson, a pretty well-known name, on May 2020, and she won with a split decision. And then before that, Alexa Grasso, she won by a majority decision. Before that, Verna Jandiroba, unanimous decision, so not really a finisher. Before that, a couple of losses against Tatiana Suarez and Claudia Gadhela, one of those being a TKO and the other one being a split decision. Before that, but we're now back in 2017, she had a unanimous decision win against Cynthia. And so she is fighting against this young lady right here. Her name's Marina Rodriguez, 33 years of age, from Brazil, Rio Grande do Sul, 5 feet 7 inches tall, so right off the bat, half a foot difference in the height, 115 pounds, 12 wins, 5 TKOs, 1 submission, 6 decisions. So she's and 0 losses, 2 draws. So she's also not quite a finisher, but some of her fights will end up as finishes. Some of them will go to a decision. Most recently, she fought against Cynthia Calvillo, and that was a draw. Before that, Ticia Torres, she beat her with a unanimous decision. Before that, she beat Jessica Aguilar back in March 2019, unanimous decision. Before that, she fought Ronda Marcos, which was a draw as well. Before that, she fought Maria de Oliveira Neta. Now we're back in 2018. She beat her with TKO and punches. Before that, Natalia Cristina da Silva beat her with unanimous decision. We're now back in 2017. Who do I think got this? I actually think the second lady, Rena Rodriguez. I think she has this. I think she has a strong height advantage. I think her record looks strong. She has no losses, and sure, she hasn't fought anyone crazy or anyone big, but still no losses, carrying a lot of momentum on her side. Also, honestly, that height advantage, I feel like she'll be able to pull off a TKO or even a submission. I don't think it'll go to a decision. So hopefully she shows up, and this one's hopefully going to be an easy pick. But coming to the next fighter, we have Fabricio Verdum. You know this fighter if you play UFC 3. I swear, heavy hitter. Cavallo Verdum, 42 years of age, so very experienced. The age might play a little bit of a factor here. 6 feet 4 inches tall, 242 pounds, giant of a man. 23 wins he has, 6 TKOs, 11 submissions, 6 decisions, and 9 losses. 3 of those TKOs, 6 of those decisions, and 1 draw. Recently, he's had a bit of a loss streak against Alexei Oleinik. That was a split decision, and he lost against Alexander Volkov. Before that, we're back in 2018 now. He lost by KOs and punches. Before that, he fought Marcin Buria. It was a unanimous decision victory. Before that, Walt Harris, submission armbar victory. Before that, Alistair Overeem, pretty well-known name. He lost by majority decision. He is fighting the one, the only, Alexander Gustafsson. You know this guy. Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson, 33 years old, from Sweden, 6 feet 4 inches tall, 205 pounds. What a beast. 18 wins, 11 of those TKOs, 3 of those submissions, and 4 of those decisions. And he has 6 losses, 2 of those TKOs, 2 of those submissions, and 2 decisions. So recently he's had a bit of a loss streak. Anthony Smith lost in June 2019. John Jones lost in December 2018 to John Jones. Before that, Glover Teixeira, he beat him in May 2017 with punches. He knocked him out. Before that, he beat Jan Blachowicz with a unanimous decision, and he lost to Daniel Cormier DC before that with a split decision, but now we're talking back in 2015. Lost to Anthony Johnson as well, 2015 with TKO. Who do I think is going to win this one? I have to give it to Alexander Gustafsson. Sure, I think Verdum has crazy punching power, but Alexander Gustafsson, his reach, his physique is next level. Some people really don't understand how good Alexander Gustafsson is, what potential he has, and what potential he's had in the past. If we take a look, you're going to see he takes advantage of that reach. He's able to keep a great distance between fighters. He uses his leg kicks really well. He's able to move off of punches and heavy haymaker style punches. So I think he will get the TKO against Verdum. And honestly, up next, that's going to be one of my favorite fights. But up next, we have this young man here, Mauricio Shogun Rua, 38 years old. Not quite so much a young man. 6 feet 1 inches tall, 205 pounds. 26 wins, 21 of those TKOs, quite the finisher, 1 submission and 4 decisions. 11 of those losses, 5 TKOs, 3 submissions and 3 decisions, and 1 draw. Moving over to his recent fights, he's fought Paul Craig recently, and that was a split decision back in November 2019. He fought Tyson Pedro before that in 2018 December, beat him by punches, TKO. Before that, Anthony Smith, he actually lost to him with a KO from his elbow. Before that, he beat Gian Villante with punches, TKO. Before that, beat Corey Anderson with a split decision. Before that, unanimous decision victory against Antonio Reguero Nogueira. And the reason that that's so important is because that's this gentleman right here. Yes, it is going to be a rematch against Antonio Reguero Minotauro Nogueira. 44 years of age, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 205 pounds. He has a 23 win record, 8 of those TKOs, 6 of those submissions, 9 of those decisions, and he has 9 losses, 4 of which are TKOs, 0 of those are submissions, and 5 of those are decisions. So taking a quick look here, he was defeated by Ryan Spann. He got punched. It was a KO. Before that, Sam Alvey back in 2018, he won with a TKO by punches. Before that, lost to Ryan Bader, TKO punches. Before that, victory to Patrick Cummins, TKO punches. Before that, a couple of losses. Mauricio Rua, ooh, gee, who was that? Back in 2015, and then Anthony Johnson back in 2014. So, fair to say, who do I think is going to win this one? Well, you know I have Rua. I got to take him. I feel like he'll do it again. It might be a decision or a submission. I'm not too confident that they'll get the TKO or the KO here, but I think Rua has enough to take care of business here. It's interesting that this is the co-main event. A lot of people have been talking about and asking why is it the co-main event, saying that maybe the Gustafsson fight should be the co-main event, but I think these guys are veterans and they deserve respect, so I still think it's going to be an interesting fight. Going to see how they prepared. Now for the main event. Can't tell you guys how excited I am. Darren the Gorilla Till, 27 years young, Liverpool, England, 6 feet tall, very, very tall, 170 pounds, 18 wins. We have 10 TKOs, 2 submissions, 6 decisions, and 2 losses. One of those TKOs and one of those submissions, 1 draw. Man, what a guy. Most recently, he fought against Kelvin Gastelum, and he won with a split decision in November 2019. Before that, Jorge Masvidal got the best of him. Although in the first round, I think he, it was debatable, but Jorge knocked him out with a punch. Tyron Woodley, he lost to a submission, a Bravo choke. Before that, Stephen Thompson, unanimous decision victory. Donald Cerrone, TKO, punched him, won. Before that, Bohan Velikovic, back in 2017, unanimous decision. He is fighting the one, the only, Robert Whittaker. So, Robert the Reaper, Bobby Knuckles Whittaker, 29 years young, Sydney, Australia is where he's from, 5 feet 11 inches tall, so 1 inch less, 185 pounds, 20 wins, 9 of those being TKOs, 5 of those submissions, and 6 of those decisions. And he has 5 losses, 2 of those TKOs, 1 of those submissions, and 2 decision losses. So most recently he fought Israel Adesanya and he lost. It was a terrible loss. He got knocked out with punches. Before that, victory against Yoel Romero, split decision. Another victory against Yoel Romero in 2017, unanimous decision. Before that, Ronaldo Souza, it was a head kick and punches. He finished him with a TKO. Before that, Derek Brunson, TKO, defeated him with a head kick and punches. Rafael Natal, before that, unanimous decision. Uriah Hall, pretty big name there, unanimous decision victory as well. So who do I think takes this one? I gotta go with the Gorilla Darren Till, guys. I think he has a lot to prove. He has a lot that he wants to prove. He's been training really, really hard. A lot of people are saying he's in the best shape of his life currently. A lot of his coaches and things like that. I think he's going to get the TKO or the KO. I think the Jorge Masvidal situation, kind of really upset him there. So he's coming back. I think Robert Whittaker, I've seen how he fought against Adesanya, and I gotta say some people say Adesanya is just another beast, just out of this world, and as if that's an excuse or something, but I just think Whittaker fell short, and I'm not sure if he will match up to Darren Till, so I gotta go with Till. Now, is that a fight I would bet on? Not necessarily. There's going to be a video coming up soon this week before the fight, of course, on what fights I'm going to be betting on and which ones I feel comfortable with. I'm going to discuss the odds and why, maybe some of the different options. I'm going to be giving parlays, of course, Viper parlay. So, you guys stay tuned for that. Like this video if you learned anything new and, you enjoyed my commentary on it, my analysis. Just getting better every single day. I love putting out videos here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and be ready for the new videos coming up this week. Take care. Deuce.